It's a story about Jules and Valerie that sounds an awful lot like Aubrey and Erica. Welcome everyone to the next installment of my review of album 63, Up in the Air. Today I'm going to be talking about the third episode from that album, Friend or Foe. This episode introduces us to the now third voice for Valerie Swanson. I think Polly Rojas from You're Too Kind and How to Sink a Sub is the best actress for Valerie so far. But since Valerie is just a minor character on the show, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. The PA announcer in the school had some very funny lines. But I had to re-listen to it a few times to hear what was being said, and even now I'm not quite sure of everything that's being said in that scene. I think the effect used in the voice to sound like it's coming through a PA was used a little bit too much because it came out a little bit too distorted. If it was just played in the background with someone already talking in the foreground, it wouldn't be an issue. I know myself and others have pointed out the many similarities between Jules in this episode to Aubrey in Under the Influence. They are both interested in music, clothing, and hanging out with people their parents wouldn't approve of. In Under the Influence, Connie was the caring friend trying to keep Aubrey out of trouble, and Ben and Ellen, of course, were the parents. In this episode, Connie is the parent, and Buck is the caring friend trying to keep Jules out of trouble. If you constantly compare it to that episode, it's going to be a little bit hard to enjoy this episode. If you put all that aside, the episode is very fun to listen to, and is very relatable to teens today. I really wonder what kind of parents Valerie has. Surely they must know how she acts to other kids by now. If not that, they should know how she torments her brother Nelson. I wonder if that will be explored in future episodes. One of the main differences between this episode and Under the Influence is that it doesn't have a happy ending with Jules getting saved. This episode ends with Jules working at wit's end, kind of like Aubrey, but Jules seems to not have learned her lesson yet. I'm actually kind of glad it worked out that way, because it shows that things don't always work out perfectly all the time. Even though the story is pretty similar to an older one, it was still different enough, and it furthered the story of Jules and Buck. Even with it being one of Sam Sixeri's very first scripts to write for Odyssey, it's a very solid one. With that said, Friend or Foe gets 4 stars out of 5 from me. Well, that wraps it up. I would love to hear your thoughts about Friend or Foe and my review. Do you think it was too similar to Under the Influence? And do you think that this episode deserves to be in the new fan favorites collection? Let me know down below in the comments. If you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you'll know every time a new video comes out. You can also get updates from me on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and Instagram. Goodbye until next time!